Proper training is definitely the key to a happy owner-pet relationship. It establishes your dominance in the relationship between you and your pet right from the start, and it can help prevent many behavioral challenges from rearing their ugly heads later on. Not only that, solid training can also keep your pet out of troublesome situations that could threaten both its health and yours. There is one characteristic exhibited by every good trainer: patience. Without this virtue, you're going to have a tough time teaching your dog anything. You need to set aside time each day for training and resolve to stick to it. Keep in mind that it will only be a temporary dip into your time budget. After all, the more time you devote from the start, the quicker and more satisfying the results will be. To be effective, any training method needs to follow some basic principles to ensure its success. These principles include consistency and repetition. The magic success formula for all training endeavors is derived from two key concepts: consistency and repetition. Consistency provides the building blocks. Repetition is the mortar that holds the program together. Without the two, you might as well try to teach a rock how to fetch. The results will be the same. Consistency means more than just using the same commands over and over again. It also means using the same praises and corrections each time and keeping your voice tones consistently unique for each. Even your body language and postures used during training should remain uniform between sessions. As trivial as it might seem, dogs pick up on stuff like that. Dogs like routine, so stick to it. Train at the same hour each day and for the same length of time for each daily session. Just as important as consistency to a dog's learning process is repetition. Repeating an action or training drill over and over will help reinforce the positive response you're looking for. Furthermore, the more repetition you implement in training, the leaner and more refined your dog's learned skills become. Verbal praise. Use verbal praise instead of physical pain in your training sessions. Dogs, especially puppies, should always be rewarded for a job well done with lots of praise and attention. Food treats are fine as a reward supplement, but they should never replace verbal compliments. Punishment might be warranted if your puppy or dog purposely disobeys a command or commits an undesirable act, but this should never take the form of physical punishment. There are alternative means, each of which is just as effective as, if not more effective than, physical violence. Punishment. Dogs can be reprimanded effectively with a sharp verbal no. Water sprayers, air horns, a can full of coins, handheld vacuums, and so on can all be used to gain your dog's attention quickly without inflicting any pain. If you decide to use punishment, be sure to institute it quickly, preferably within 5 seconds of the act. If you don't apply it before this time expires, any punishment thereafter might satisfy your anger, but it will serve no useful training purpose. Don't extend your punishment past a few seconds. Prolonged exhortations will only confuse your pet and cause you to lose your voice. Never use your pet's name during the negative reinforcement. If you do, your dog might begin to associate its name with the bad act and eventually become a basket case whenever the name is called. Reserve the name calling for positive, happy experiences only. If you do punish, always follow it up shortly thereafter with a command or drill that will lead to a praise situation. Remember, the most effective training programs rely on praise more than they do on punishment. For some dogs, simply withholding praise from them is punishment enough to modify their behavior. By rewarding your dog for doing good rather than punishing it for doing bad, you'll get the positive results you're looking for much faster. Get the whole family involved. In any training situation, always try to involve all members of the family. An all too common scenario is one in which a dog virtually ignores the commands of anyone except the one person who trained it. To avoid this, get the whole family involved. Just be sure to remain consistent within the family with regard to the training methods and commands used. Use short commands. All verbal commands you employ need to be kept short and sweet. Using slightly different voice tones for each command will help prevent confusion. If verbal punishment is to be used, make certain that it is totally different in tone and in presentation than the other commands. Start young. Always start your dog's training at an early age. While it is true that certain advanced training techniques can be best taught at around 6 months of age, basic training, including house training, should be started as early as 8 weeks of age. If basic command training is not taught this early in life, poor habits arise later on, some of which can put a damper on future training efforts. Keep training sessions short. Try to keep the training sessions short and to the point. For puppies 8 to 12 weeks of age, devoting 10 minutes 2 to 3 times daily will yield excellent results. As your dog matures, the length of each of these sessions can increase. Let your dog's attitude be your judge. If it seems bored, indifferent, or has become totally unruly, you have probably exceeded its attention span. End on a good note. Always end your training session on a good note. Doing so is very constructive in terms of your pet's mental development, and effectively sets the tone for the next session. Thanks for watching, and if you find it useful, please consider to subscribe and share with others who might find these informations useful.